Now to the latest ruling by the Food and Drug Administration that could devastate some breast cancer patients. The agency has pulled the plug on the popular drug Avastin. It says Avastin's dangerous side effects outweigh its benefits, but the drug remains in the market to treat other types of cancer. Joining us now with the specifics is Dr. Mallika Marshall. She's the medical director of Everyday Health. Mallika, it's great to see you.
It's so good to see you too, Russ.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
First of all, why is the FDA doing this?
So Avastin was approved by the FDA back in 2008 for the treatment of metastatic breast cancer, and it went through sort of an accelerated process because there were promising preliminary results from a clinical trial suggesting benefit. Since then, we've had several studies that show that it doesn't improve survival, it doesn't improve quality of life, and it doesn't seem to slow tumor progression as much as people had hoped. So the FDA has decided to revoke its approval of the drug for the treatment of metastatic breast cancer.
Let's talk about some of these dangerous side effects that we alluded to. High blood pressure, bleeding, blood clots?
Yeah, I mean, all chemo drugs are going to have side effects, and some of them nasty, but Avastin has particularly bad ones, and some that are fairly unique. You mentioned high blood pressure. Oftentimes it's severe high blood pressure. You can get bleeding. Oftentimes it's just nosebleeds, but in some women it causes excessive bleeding that requires a blood transfusion. It can cause gastrointestinal perforations, which are rips or tears in the lining of the stomach and the intestine, heart attack, stroke, kidney damage, blood clots. So, you know, it's a pretty tough drug to take.
Now, Avastin will be available for other types of cancer? Is that correct?
Yes, so it's still approved for the treatment of other types of cancers like advanced colon cancer, kidney cancer, lung cancer, certain brain tumors like glioblastoma. And because it's still approved for the use of these cancers, oncologists can still use it off-label for the treatment of breast cancer.
And because of that, does the cost go up, and are insurers likely to approve this down the road?
So it's a very expensive drug. It's usually given by IV every 2 weeks or so, and for a year's course it can cost upwards of $88,000. So yes, there are going to be some private insurers that aren't going to cover it anymore for breast cancer, but Medicare apparently still will for the time being.
I see. Now, if I'm a breast cancer patient and I'm currently using Avastin, what do you do at this point?
Right, so you talk to your oncologist, and it's sort of made on a case-by-case basis. You know, you and your oncologist can decide whether, for you're willing to accept those possible side effects for a small benefit, or whether you should try a different treatment regimen. There are other treatments out there for the treatment of metastatic breast cancer.
And this is fairly common for the FDA to take a look at drugs like this and then have a ruling, as opposed to a ruling, I guess, to amend a ruling that it made a few years ago.
Absolutely, especially because it was done, again, sort of in an accelerated process. So,
I see.
You know, they've taken another look at it and said, you know, it's not doing what we thought it was going to do.
Okay, Dr. Mallika Marshall, again, great to see you.
Good to see you,
Thanks a lot.
Russ.